Baci Sospesi, un progetto di Barbara Sbrocca.
To me, the most beautiful part of my love story is the inner shift in love that happened within myself. I'm currently married. It's my second marriage to my very best friend in the whole world. We've been married for 3 years. We've known each other for a decade, and my story with him coalesces with my story with my previous marriage because I've known him for so long. I met my husband when I was 21 years old. My current husband was actually best friends with my ex-husband, and he was just somebody who I found to be kind of annoying, honestly. He was this big party boy. He was loud, but he was very soft and kind. And my ex-husband it was a very toxic relationship even before we got married. And so I was a very insecure person who was chasing this man who really wasn't that into me, but really just wanted me as a trophy piece. So my ex-husband and I, we met in high school. And the beginning, our college part of our relationship was very playful and innocent in college, right? But there was a complete switch, and it went from this very innocent, playful relationship to two people who I think felt that they were supposed to end up together. And so we got engaged, and as soon as we got married, everything changed. And actually, before that, so when we got engaged, I began to suspect that he was cheating on me. And I got an email from someone 2 weeks before my wedding day confirming my suspicions. She was the other woman, she was telling me. And so I decided to close my laptop and pretend that nothing had happened. My first marriage was abusive, and it literally broke me. I had lost myself completely. So when we ended as a couple, I was floating in the air, having no idea who I was, very depressed. I was only 27 when we got divorced. When he said the words, "I want a divorce," that the next day I packed my stuff and I moved into an apartment by myself for the very first time in forever, because I had never actually been on my own. Then entered my depression. It wasn't a depression that I was missing him or that I had lost him. I was grieving the fact that I realized that I was abused. I was grieving the fact that I couldn't be the one to say the words. And it wasn't that he was also this complete villain and I was this innocent pawn. We had both turned each other into monsters, and I think that's really important. I had to really take self-responsibility for the role that I played and for whatever that looks like. And maybe I wasn't the abuser, and I'm not victim blaming at all, but I in no way was the version of myself that I am today. It's two different people that were in that marriage. And because I allowed that to happen, I love in a very different way now. And with my ex-husband, the moment that I knew it was over, I would say would be my wedding day with him. But I was so afraid to eat. It's like that image of me closing the laptop. Of every single time I knew something was happening, I would close that part of my brain and say, no. The most interesting time to have this epiphany, I'm standing there with my father on my left side, my flowers in my right hand, and I felt like time just completely slowed down. Like time got so stretchy. A 24-year-old who's terrified out of her mind, but is in her wedding dress. And so I thought my only option was to walk down that aisle. You lose your voice, you lose your courage, you lose everything. It's a complete stripping of who you are. I think I had to spend a lot of years forgiving myself for not being the one to leave and realizing that it takes so much strength. Like I said, that would never happen now. If I knew my husband now was cheating on me, my parents, as a little girl, I just idolized them. They went through a lot of heartache and grief, but they always found solace and refuge in each other. I think that is exactly why I closed my eyes. I wanted nothing more than to have the marriage that my parents had, to hold each other in grief, to celebrate each other through opening businesses and really just having this authentic love. My parents also met when they were 15. Therapy and yoga saved my life, both of them. With depression for me, my body dissociated from my soul. It was like I felt like my body was autopiloting and showing up for work and doing everything that I was supposed to, but it was completely detached from me. I was like this wind thing that like danced in the wind. I kind of felt like that. I was going to therapy every day. Literally every day. I'm pretty sure my therapist had me on suicide watch. I never said I was going to commit suicide, but I think the level of darkness that I was in, he was extremely worried for my safety. So that, with going to yoga every day, brought me back home to myself. I began to breathe again and feel my arms in space again. And therapy is just so important. And finding the right therapist is so important. It changed my world. And so much of my story with both of my marriages, the bridge in between, the point of alchemy in between, was me deciding that I was worth being loved by me. That I didn't have to reach out to somebody else to prove that I was worth being loved. My current husband was this pillar who knew me and was horrified when the truth of my previous marriage was revealed. And so him and my two best girlfriends came together, and I think they were my guardian angels, just helping me remember who I was. It was the most selfless, tender thing that anyone could have ever done for me. Yeah. Everyone knew that we were supposed to end up together, but I was very stubborn. We were roommates, and platonic roommates. It wasn't like roommates and like it's code for something. We were just roommates. And I was at the depth of my depression. And I don't really remember 6 months of my life for that depressive moment. And I very much dissociated. It was really terrifying. But there was this moment that I came home, and I don't even remember doing this, but I walked into my bedroom, and then walked into my bathroom, and then walked into my closet. And I apparently just fell asleep in the dark of my closet. And the next thing I remember is my now husband, who was then my roommate, just picking me up and putting me in my bed and tucking me into bed and just laying next to me while stroking my hair. And when I woke up, I just see him, and he was just crying. And he was letting me know all the reasons why I was so strong, like why I would be able to survive this. I think he always saw me for the way that my soul exists, not who I was at that moment in time as a human. It's beautiful. Yeah, he's just my favorite human in the whole world. I love him so much. He really is. I think it takes a really, really beautiful person to dive into someone's grief. He was so unafraid to be a supportive person through the darkest part of my life. I remember thinking, if I can become the person that he and my best friend as well, that they see, if I can become the person that I see myself reflected in their eyes when they look at me, then I will be okay.
Baci Sospesi, un progetto di Barbara Sbrocca.